he's obviously on good terms with you.
Yeah.
We need, in capital letters, you back on radio with Sammy and Rufus.
Well,
Right,
yeah,
David?
but unfortunately, Six Music is being closed down, as you may know. You may have heard about that.
Axed.
But I think it may come back in a different form, apparently. But yeah, the problem with radio is it's a big commitment. You know, you've got to be there every week, and you know, much as I like playing music to people, now I've found that I get similar pleasure by just giving people a lift home and playing CDs in my car. It tends to be, it's harder, because it's obviously a four-seater
He has
car.
frightened a lot of homeless people by just saying, get in.
Exactly.
Have you heard these? They're called the Monks. They're from Luton.
Exactly. So, but the problem with I thought, well, I need to get 4 people in the car. But of course, when I put my seat right back in order to be able to fit behind the
needs to be a
steering wheel,
flat person.
it becomes like a 2-person car.
Yeah.
A flat one, yeah.
Well, I'd say the reason we sort of did the podcast initially was because we didn't want to keep going off, you know, our show for like 6 weeks at a time to film stuff, and you know, we still do that. They're all out there, the podcast and the audio books with myself, Steve, and Carl. Not the threesome we mentioned, but a different threesome.
That's good, Alex.
And also, I do miss playing music on the show, but now I link on my blog to a tune every night.
Oh, that's sweet of you.
Nice, isn't it?
Yeah,
like a little
good.
bit of, lovely radio. I love radio. We may return one day.
I want to answer Katie's question.
Go on.
She says, Steve, what's it like being so goddamn cool?
Okay, yeah.
Well, Katie,
well, it
it's
says
a tough-
Katie, but
it's tricky.
I know
It's
for a fact
tricky.
that you sent that one in. Definitely.
What's Will writing there? If you go back
I think Steve is pretty cool.
Thanks, mate.
Because you know that thing where you look at someone and go, oh look, he's so uncool. He must be cool. Like he doesn't care. He doesn't care about how he looks or how he sort of walks or how he walks into a room. Usually cracks his head straight away. That kills me every time. So you think, wow, he doesn't care. He must be. He's not cool. He's a bit of a geek.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
That started so promising.
I know. Yeah.
I didn't. You know, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't surprised it ended the way it did. If you could go back to the 70s for a day, what would you do, mate?
I'd probably go back.
Will ask that question.
I'd probably go back to 1970, actually. In our, I think it was a science class, where Tom Potts shat himself. that was the best day of the year. I couldn't believe it because he just went, oh no, what? He went, I shit myself. And it was the funniest thing I've ever experienced.
That's what you do with time travel. See, I'd go back and warn people about the Khmer Rouge.
I think when people go, oh, I wish I could go back to the 70s and, put £1,000 on red rum, they mean they wish they were rich. That's what you're wishing for. Never mind the big machine.
Why this elaborate thing?
Exactly, yeah. Just go, oh, do the lottery.
Yeah.
Do the lottery and hope you win. What would I do?
70s. Crazy days.
Probably go back and floss. That would have been a good one.
I'd like to go back and see some of the great music from that period.
Good one, Steve.
David Bowie, Led Zeppelin in their prime.
Maybe some of the people that are no longer with us.
Who are you thinking of? Richard Nixon?
No.
Specifically
Music. Yeah, like,
Elvis.
Elvis.
Could see
Brilliant.
Elvis, yeah.
Jimi Hendrix.
Ricky, if you're a fan of Led Zeppelin or David Bowie or Roxy Music or Elton John, is there a film that's coming out soon that features music by those brilliant names?
There's one film that features all those great artists at length, and it's called Cemetery Junction.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and it's out on the 14th of this month.
I'm
It's
not-
Wednesday.
I'm not sure if Scott Hansen knows who you are because he says, Ricky, do you ski?
I don't. I never have.
You've got one question you can ask Ricky Gervais.
Don't
your
have a go
hero.
at Scott Hansen.
Do you ski?
He's probably into skiing, and he thought, oh, I wonder if I'll meet Rick on the slopes one day. No, you won't.
Anyway, I thought about skiing. A lot of people, friends of mine, said it's great fun, but I know I would snap instantly.
Oh, you'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be incredible. It would be like some sort of weird art, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Steve coming down with... Because I don't know if you've seen Steve in his slippers. It looks like he's wearing skis anyway. Tell him what size feet.
14.
14 feet.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
US 15. For those
Dutch,
transatlantic.
huge clogs.
Felicity on the live chat, she asks, have you ever been to Maidstone? It's my cemetery junction.
Have we been to Maidstone? I don't know if we have. That's Kent, isn't it? I've been to Kent.
Well, I'm presuming she means that she feels it's the sort of small town. Maybe she feels some same sort of oppression that a lot of people. That's one of the reasons.
England is made of small towns like that. There are more Readings and Sloughs and Maidstones than huge metropolises really, and that's where most people live. And as we said before, there's one of those everywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be, your town, but I think everyone identify with that feeling of escape. It doesn't have to be a bad town, There's idyllic towns, but if you're 18 and you've lived in that town for 18 years and you see the same 100 people every day, you want to sort of just spread your wings a little bit.
Yeah,
Not literally, that would be mad. If you had wings, you'd have probably been flying by now.
Hey, here's one from Jordan on the live chat. Ricky had his feature directorial debut recently. Are we to expect a solo directorial debut for Steve sometime in the near future?
Well, maybe sometime. I've often said, there's only a matter of time before Ricky, either retires or has a massive heart attack. And I mean that in the best sense. I'm on your side. I'm hoping that you.
Well, I'm trying to combat that. I'm trying to combat that, aren't I?
No, I know he's working out, and that's really good.
Working out, running, yeah.
But I've often thought, it's a long haul. It's a long haul. This career, you haven't got to rush into anything. Take it slowly. That's why I've only really been involved in 3 projects in the last 12 years, all of with hip.
Well, I think you will. I probably will retire before you. I'm already getting a bit fed up.
Not just specifically because of this web chat.
No, but also I started late, I suppose. That's why I've been going crazy and probably had my fingers in more pies than you. I was going to say not literally, but I have had my fingers in a lot more pies than you as well. But then I didn't get a proper job till I was about 28, and I didn't start in this till I was 37, and I didn't start working out till I was 47. So it's never too late, kids.
This seems like an intelligent question from Luke Gray. He says, hey fellas, what happens when one of you suggests an idea which the other person isn't too fond of? I presume it's a rarity, but say Steve felt the scene needed more pathos and Ricky wanted to add more humour. How do you decide?
Well, we sort of have a simple rule, really, and that's one veto and it's out. So you don't have to give a reason. If you don't like it, it's out the window. And if it's your idea, you can use it in something else, your stand-up or a thing that you're doing by yourself. It is a rarity because we've been together 12 years, and even when we started working, if we sat in a room for 8 hours a day, 7.5 hours were us just talking about things we loved and hated. So we found, a real sort of interpersonal space to exist in on all our projects. And we really think carefully about our next project, what it's going to be, and we have the same sort of we see eye to eye on most things, but that stops arguments, and it also means that what we're left with The Office and Extras and Cemetery Junction is a piece of work. Every second of it, we both love. There's nothing in that I go, I knew he shouldn't have put that in. So that really works for us. So yeah.
Alex Leach on the live chat asks, is this film Saturday Night Fever meets Train Spotting?
That's pretty good.
Wow.
That'd
be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's not quite as gloomy and heavy as Train Spotting. That was a pretty dark film. We've tried not to make something quite as intense as that. Hopefully it's a bit lighter. Like we said, it does have humour, but certainly we've wanted. For instance, Train Spotting and Saturday Night Fever were both films which kind of sought out new talent. And Train Spotting in particular, it was all sort of new faces, and that's something we were proud of doing in this film. Is Ricky's in it and I'm in it briefly, but and although we've got Ray Fiennes and Emily Watson and Matthew Good, actually the main characters are 4 new people who are kind of sort of probably unfamiliar. And
future stars.
Future stars, exactly. And we were really excited. We were trying to look for people like, the new John Travolta or the new Ewan McGregor, and it's hard. It's hard to find those people because. They
don't really exist here, really, those people. We probably all auditioned about 1,000 people to get these guys, and of 1,000 people, of 20-something actors in England, 500 of them will play Mr. Darcy one day, and the other 500 will be in a gritty gangster movie going, "You slag," or in EastEnders. And so we really hunted high and low to find these, these film stars, these British film stars.
Did you set out to find new talent specifically?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we because we couldn't think of anyone that was like that. We've got it in our rock stars. We've got it with you know, Liam and Richard Ashcroft, and you know, I mean, we've got and Tom's very like those. He's sort of